This will forever be remembered as the day the American people regained control of their country.
How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today I bring you a recap of the 2024 presidential election in which our president, Donald J. Trump, has succeeded. He is now the 47th president after being the 45th president. I think only the second president in history to win non-consecutive terms. I think the other president was Grover Cleveland. If I'm wrong, y'all let me know in the comments. But this is historic. Not only did Trump get the electoral college, and it's still counting up right now, he's already succeeded, but there's still states who are not fully called. He could get to what, 312 or 315 electoral votes. It's pretty big. But not only does he have that, he also has a popular vote by about 5 million votes. Remember, in 2016, he won the electoral with a similar rate, but he lost the popular. But he's going to win both this time. And again, President Donald J. Trump has succeeded. He will be your next president, inaugurated January 2025. Yes, he will. And I think after that, we're going to have J.D. Vance, 2028, 2032. And after that, I'm not sure. Maybe you could bring Barron in there at a certain point. This was great. Now, before I go any further, let's look at some maps. And before I continue, thank you guys who were with me live on the stream last night. We streamed for 8 hours. I did get a little teeny bit of sleep. I sure did. And I'm back right now to give you the recap. But thank y'all. I will always remember that night, the same as 2020, 2016, and everything else. So thank y'all again for being here. But this is Daily Wire. Daily Wire was pretty accurate throughout. They were more accurate than all the maps that I saw. They have Trump at 286 and Kamala at 226. Now, listen, Daily Wire has not called Arizona or Michigan. Michigan has 15 electorals. Arizona has 11. So Michigan, Arizona, plus the 286, we're at 312. So that's just going to be over the top. And you see the popular 71,700,000 to 67 million right on the dot. So that's a pretty big margin for the popular vote. All right. And you can see this is the Google version. They don't have all the states called that Daily Wire, but he still has won over here. It was a pretty decisive victory. We have control of the Senate. We flipped 2 seats, and the House is still kind of up for grabs. But I think we're going to have all 3, the White House, the House, and the Senate. Now, we got some reactions, of course. People, this right here is funny. This guy's going to explain why he voted for Kamala. Let's check it out.
Who did you vote for today?
I voted for Kamala Harris.
Why is that?
I have 3 daughters, 4 children overall, and women's rights is pretty important to them and my daughters. Sorry, I'm getting a little emotional about that. I didn't think that I was going to do that, but just their bodies, their choice type of a mentality.
So that right there is a Kamala supporter. Get ready to cry on camera about a decision. Now, look, I almost shed 1 tear last night, but I didn't do it because I'm a goon, and we don't do that. I'm playing. I'm not being serious at all. But here we have people. I think they were out there in D.C. They might have been out there by Kamala's HQ. And by the way, Kamala did not give a concession speech. They're talking about she might come out at 6 p.m. today to give a speech. And you know what? If I hear the words middle or class in combination or separately, I'm going to flip my whole wig. But let's see what the reaction is out here on the ground, shall we?
We were just saying this, like, I'm in shock. Like, this is really where we're at. Are you just that against having a woman as?
It's not about a woman. It's about Kamala's a bad candidate. We'll get to that in a little bit.
Man, is to see how much of the U.S. picked this man. And
I'm going to pause right here because there's a little music in the background. Maybe they're going to pick up on it. Maybe they won't. But let's hear from her.
Everything that it stands for. And for me to just know, like, my experience as a woman, having miscarriages, having a brother that's deaf, and the things that are not for them and not for me as a black woman.
I mean, I don't understand. So voting for Trump means you're against people that are deaf and against you because you had a miscarriage. What's that got to do with anything Trump's talking about? I didn't hear Trump come out there and say, you know what, ain't gonna be no more sign language interpreters. We're gonna ban sign language. Like, I don't understand. What are you talking about?
I just can't believe the world is like perceiving this way. It hurt my heart, honestly, because I love my country. I love America. However, to see where we are as a black woman, I'm just like,
Don't quite get it. I don't know. I can't explain that. Other than to say racism is strong in this nation.
Racism? The same, look, okay, you're saying racism is strong in this nation, the same nation that elected Barack Obama not once but twice in record numbers. You're talking about some of these swing states like Michigan, Wisconsin. The vote for Obama was beyond anything they ever normally do. It was above and beyond, and not once but twice. So it wasn't a fluke. So racism, sexism, blame Kamala being the bad candidate, blame Joe Biden being the bad president. Why would anyone with common sense vote for the vice president of a bad president?
And it's the country's greatest sin. We don't like to talk about it. We never atone for it. And sexism, number two biggest sin that we haven't atoned for, don't like to talk about. And I think what the truth of the matter is no matter what your skin color or your gender, we can be a part of supporting white supremacy and the patriarchy.
Word salad.
No matter what the outside looks like, right? And so a lot of that it rings true.
Yo, whatever you got to say, my man, say it with your whole chest. All this kind of hemming and hawing and beating around the bush, ain't nobody got time for that, man. See, people like you, we can't have you really in charge of who's running this country. We got to get real people, real men, real women to make these decisions. And my man, no disrespect, but you ain't that. We got Joe Reed on MS-13 DNC.
Just the last 2 weeks and the things that Donald Trump has said into the TV that people could hear him say and do, the vulgarity in front of families with young children, and the threats to do mass deportation and a violent start to his dictatorship on day one, and you name it.
Look, you would think that after their strategy of calling him a dictator, just making stuff up, exaggerating, you would think they would abandon the strategy. It didn't work. Listen, it didn't work. Nice try, but it didn't work. Move on, do something else.
If all of that gets you half of the votes,
49%.
What does it tell you? I mean, we need to really.
So what she wants to say is it's a reflection on the people that voted for him. We're just bad people. So there it goes again. You guys don't learn. Hillary Clinton did it. Basket of deplorables. You about to do the same thing. You guys insult us rather than really asking us what our issues are and listening to us. If you ask us, we'll tell you. Now, whether you listen or not, that's on you. But don't say we didn't tell you.
Well, and that's what makes the timing, I think, of President Biden's decision to step down after the debate something that, if she does in fact lose, will be under a microscope, because, of course, there was so much discussion, even over the summer, about potentially having an open primary.
Let's pause. So they're trying to say that it's Kamala's fault for not pardon. They're trying to say it's Biden's fault for not dropping out earlier and then only giving Kamala 100 days. First of all, everyone knew that was going to happen. Everyone knew they were going to try to do something because Biden was in decline in 2020. So let's go all the way back to 2020. It was the Democratic Party's fault for making Joe Biden be the guy, for hitching their wagon to that horse. Furthermore, they are also responsible for pressuring Joe Biden to elect or hire a black female for the vice president, because it became less about who's qualified and more about identity. And what you got was a severely unqualified person who couldn't put two words together, a horrible candidate, the worst candidate possible. And then she selects an even worse candidate for her VP, Tampon Tim Walz, lying about going to Tiananmen Square, having issues with stolen valor, things of this nature. And the reason why they couldn't get the governor of Pennsylvania, which should have been an easy slam dunk pick, Josh Shapiro, is because the Democrats got a problem with anti-Semitism and they don't like Jewish people right now. So that was a bad pick. So they had to go for Tampon Tim. All right. That's why what happened. All right. Let's keep on going.
Not all working class voters are members of unions, right? And so there's a huge portion that correct. And I think that gets overlooked. And while we can all say, but Donald Trump does absolutely nothing for them, that's true from a policy perspective. But they look around and somehow still they feel connected with his personality. They like the way he speaks.
it's not even about the personality. The personality, the thing about it is you guys are turned off by the personality, and you think that everyone should be turned off by the personality. And you use that as a way for us to ignore the policies that he's talking about, which benefit us. Closing the border down. You say that he has no policies for us as a matter of fact. That's just your opinion. But the people on the ground think policies make sense because our chief issues are the economy. You guys under Biden and Harris have had a bad economy, but it was better under Trump. So logically, we're going to think, go back to the guy that had a better economy. See, y'all are not looking at that. You guys refuse to listen to the regular American people. Y'all think because you have high college education, you're better than us and that you know everything. But really, all you did was get indoctrinated and brainwashed in these facilities, and you have no real connection to the actual American people. All right. And the people are the ones who spoke. You guys couldn't control it.
And he speaks to them and says, you are forgotten. You know what Joe Biden did? He forgave student loan debt for college educated people who have all sorts of job opportunities. You continue to be forgotten.
I agree with that part. I agree with that part 100% because that whole student loan debt forgiveness, you're talking about people that already got money. All right. You have a job making $250,000 and you crying about student loan debt. Meanwhile, people making $45,000 struggling to make ends meet. You understand what I'm saying? And they don't get any kind of relief from the government.
Because I'm thinking about the people who are not a part of anybody's elite, who are hurting tonight. There are African-American women who know a little bit about being talked down to and know a little bit about having their economic dreams crushed, who tried to dream a big dream over the past couple of months. And tonight they're trading in a lot of hope for a lot of hurt. And they were hoping that maybe this time, one of their own could be seen as worthy. And once again, they were facing rejection.
One of their own? Who you mean? The Indian lady? She's not black. Kamala Harris, listen, Van, you're not listening to us. We're telling you we don't believe that she's black. She's not black. She's not one of quote unquote us. Even if she was, so what? So what? What's that got to do with anything? You black just like me. I don't agree with you and you don't agree with me, and that's fine. But just because we black don't mean we got to be on the same page. It ain't nothing but skin color at the end of the day. My brain is not the same as your brain. My life ain't the same as your life. The way I grew up is not the same kind of way you grew up. And that's okay. It's totally fine. Let's keep moving.
But we're going to do it in every way. This will forever be remembered as the day the American people regained control of their country. So I just want to say that on behalf of this great group of people, these are hardworking people. These are fantastic people. And we can add a few names like Robert F. Kennedy Jr. He came in. And he's going to help make America healthy again. And now he's a great guy, and he really means it. He wants to do some things, and we're going to let him go to it. I just said, but, Bobby, leave the oil to me. We have more liquid gold, oil and gas. We have more liquid gold than any country in the world, more than Saudi Arabia. We have more than Russia. Bobby, stay away from the liquid gold. Other than that, go have a good time, Bobby. We're going to be paying down debt. We're going to be reducing taxes. We can do things that nobody else can do. Nobody else is going to be able to do it. China doesn't have what we have. Nobody has what we have. But we have the greatest people also. Maybe that's the most important thing.
It is most certainly the most important thing. The best people right here in the USA.
His campaign has been so historic in so many ways. We've built the biggest, the broadest, the most unified coalition. They've never seen anything like it in all of American history. They've never seen it. Young and old, men and women, rural and urban. And we had them all helping us tonight when you think.
Yeah, everybody, all the races. And his speech, he mentioned all the races, everybody that came out, brought Dana White on stage. It was fantastic. This was a great moment. And at the end of it, as I close, at the end of my 8-hour stream with you guys, at the end of our 8-hour stream, I just felt like a sense of relief. It was like a weight was on my shoulders, and then it was relieved immediately. As soon as I turned my camera off, it was like all the pressure just left my body. It was really a great feeling. But as I close, I want to say this: the American people have spoken. The mainstream media, it didn't work. The billions of dollars they spent on this whole election, from everything from the president, from local races, a combined total 15 billion with a B, 15 billion with a B. Now, I don't know how much Trump and Kamala spent on their races respectively out of that 15 billion, but I did read that Kamala had between 2 and 3 times more money than Trump. But this is Hillary Clinton all over again, because it was the same story with her. She had more money, she spent more money, and still wound up getting stomped in the general election. The same thing was going on here. But what else do you expect when you bring a Timu version of Hillary Clinton to the forefront 100 days before the election, in which nobody voted for her? Kamala ran in 2020 and came in dead last, dropped out in 2019 before the primaries even happened in 2020. So why would she do any better this time as the candidate up against a person who was wildly popular and was already the president before, especially when her presidency or her vice presidency under Biden was not a good one? Bad economy, global wars, migrant crisis. I mean, why would anybody want to vote for a continuation of that? It doesn't make sense to me. So I'm glad we got the orange man back in there. Shout out to President Trump, 45 and 47, but I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your take on this whole situation with the election? Did things go the way you thought they would? Are you surprised? Are you hurt? Are you happy? Are you sad? Are you kind of indifferent? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. I was confident from the beginning, especially when I saw the way that the campaigns were forming. When I saw Kamala barely able to get 2 words out, repeating herself. What's some of her lines? You could pretty much put her lines on the t-shirt on a little 4x4 space right on the front of your chest. What'd she say? She'll say stuff like, I come from a middle-class family. I am speaking. You know, she got about 3 or 4 catchphrases. And it's just what she had to bring to the table was not enough. Her track record, not enough. Trump had everything. She had nothing. Although she had all the media, all the money, all of the establishment working in her favor, the people now have better control over what the people see and what the people hear. And I think part of that is what swayed the election. And again, you had a bad presidency for the past 4 years. So that doesn't help you when you're running for president right now. When are they going to ask you, hey, you got a bad economy and you got the migrant crisis and you got foreign wars. So what are you going to do differently from President Biden? Nothing. All right, well, case closed. Let me vote for the other guy that has a plan to do something different. It's just that simple. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.